Welcome back to Tea and Tales. I'm Frankie, and today we have a folk tale from Scotland. And to pair with it, we've got the tea called the Highlander. Whiskey-inspired tea handcrafted in Scotland. Blended with real single malt whiskey from one of Scotland's whiskey regions. The Highlands are the largest, most diverse whiskey region. It's a terrible accent. I'll probably cut that. This blend is sweet, with hints of fruit and spice. Today's story is about Bruce and the spider. A long time ago, there lived a king of Scotland named Robert Bruce. He was a greatly troubled man because his country was at war with England, and the English were winning. In battle after battle, they drove back the Scottish army until at last the king himself had to retreat to the mountains to save his life. Wandering desperately through the mountain forest, cold and hungry and exhausted, at last the king found a miserable little wooden hut, empty and deserted. Glad of any kind of shelter, he lay down on the floor of the hut in deep despair. "There is no use in going on," he thought. "The enemy has thrown back our army 6 times. We can never repulse them. I have failed my people. I might as well give up." At that moment, the king noticed a little gray spider spinning a long thread from one of the rafters. The spider swung along the thread in an effort to attach the other end to another rafter, so he could start spinning his web. But the thread broke, and the spider fell to the floor of the hut. A little dazed, perhaps, but with no hesitation at all, the spider climbed up the wall and began spinning again. He kept patiently at it until the thread was long enough. Then he again swung himself to the end of it and tried once more to attach it to the rafter across the corner. But again, the thread broke, and again the spider fell to the floor. And once more he climbed up and began again. 6 times the spider's thread broke. 6 times he fell to the ground. 6 times he began again. 6 times he failed. Robert Bruce, the King of Scotland, watched in fascination. He became so absorbed in the little spider's efforts that for a time he forgot his own troubles. The spider did not give up, even when he failed for the 6th time. He just tried again, and this time, on the 7th try, he was successful. The end of the thread held. The spider attached it to the far rafter and began spinning his web. Robert Bruce arose and bowed low to the tiny gray insect. "Oh, little spider," he cried, "you have taught me a wonderful lesson in persistence. You were not ready to give up as I was. No matter how often you failed, you were always willing to try again. Perhaps I, too, shall win if I keep on trying." And so, though he was still cold and hungry and weary, he was no longer discouraged. He was no longer disheartened. Watching the spider had given him new strength and courage. He buckled on his sword, gathered together his scattered armies, and, with the example of the courageous spider to inspire him, King Robert Bruce led his men on the 7th try to victory! The end. Join the Bards of Baldwin at the Copper Kettle Friday nights for lots more tea and tales.